Week continues here in Scope Arena in Norfolk, Virginia. Day 2 of the MEAC Women's Basketball Championship Tournament. And we've got a battle of the Eagles coming up for you between number 4 seed Coppin State and number 5 seed North Carolina Central. We'll get a look at the bracket here. We're halfway done with our teams entered into the semifinal. Howard with a resounding win over South Carolina State yesterday, and Maryland Eastern Shore able to survive Delaware State. And now we'll see who's going to join them on Friday afternoon. With MEAC Hall of Famer Ramona Riley-Bozer, I'm Jonathan Duran. We're so glad to have you with us here on this Thursday afternoon. We'll be with you one more day as we get into the semifinals tomorrow, but we'll find out which 4 teams will be in the semis by the end of this afternoon. Battle of the Eagles today, Coppin State and North Carolina Central. Coppin State got the better of North Carolina Central in both games this year. Yes, I think, again, who's going to continue to fly on until Friday. But I think this is going to be a really good game, although, Central's got the best of them, but it's MEAC, so anything can happen. It's the MEAC, baby. Everything is up in the air, and we're going to find out what's going to happen in this game over the next 40 minutes. But we've got our keys to the game. We'll start with the lower seeded North Carolina Central. What's it going to take for them to be successful against Coppin State today? Well, you're going to need additional scoring. It can't just be a few people scoring, and got to be able to score in the paint and then eliminate turnovers, which is going to be very key for Central. And for Coppin, again, balanced scoring, but this is a team that needs to stay composed for all 4 quarters and then force turnovers. For North Carolina Central, this is a team that I think was expecting to have a little more this year. They had a player that was named the MEAC Preseason Player of the Year in Morgan Callahan. She ends up getting second-team honors. But then for Coppin State, they had a little bit of an unknown as Kyla Morris comes in and becomes Newcomer of the Year within the MEAC. Yes, and that was one of the add-ons that the MEAC decided to put in place, the newcomer. And she's definitely going to be a key player for Coppin State today. Second quarterfinal day, and one of the marquee games is going to be happening after this one, as Morgan State is going to take on the hometown team of Norfolk State. And Coach, I know every time that Norfolk State plays in this building, it's always an incredible atmosphere. Yes, Morgan's going to have their hands full, not just because Norfolk State is coming into the tournament seeded 3rd, but they are playing at home, and the Spartans tend to show up, and sometimes they show out, so it's going to be tough. But we like a big an arena that has a lot of people in there, so we can enjoy all the fans that's going to be here today. Let's get back into talking about this game. This is very much a get-right game for Coppin State. They're coming in here on a 4-game losing streak after having a pretty good start to the conference season. Yes, again, it's when you have a lot of transfers on your team, or new coaches coming in trying to get their teams settled, what's going to be our the type of team are we going to be, and that's what you're going to have, some up and down, and I think that's what we have seen, not just in them but in a few other teams in the MEAC. And on the other side, North Carolina Central was on a 4-game losing streak before getting a win against South Carolina State 67-41 at the tail end of the regular season. And I think now they're going to be able to try to bring some of that confidence with them into this game. Yeah, I like the way they play. They play aggressive, they play hard, and it's always good to get a win right before MEAC tournament play. Well, we're glad to have you with us on whichever internet-connected device that you're on. We're saying hello from your phone or maybe from your laptop, but however you are with us, we're glad you're here. You got to make it to this tournament at some point. Norfolk, Virginia is a great host. Scope Arena is amazing. I love hanging out around the city, visiting the USS Wisconsin. There's a lot of great food around. What's one of your favorite things to do when you're here in the area? Well, I just like coming in here to the arena, not because it's cold, but I do like, the bands. I know that's something that you enjoy, but I love, when you have multiple bands, playing, and because when you're at home, it's just your band, so you get a chance to hear the different bands as well as seeing all the cheerleaders come together, and it's just bringing all of the MEAC schools together. That is something that I enjoy when we get to this tournament time. Over the last few years, they've referred to this tournament as a homecoming, and it definitely has that atmosphere. All 8 schools represented well in the stands, and the players getting ready to duke it out on the hardwood. We are underway here on this Thursday afternoon as the tip is controlled by former North Carolina Central player Paris McBride. We'll talk a little bit about her journey to where she is now over the course of this broadcast. Coppin State nearly turns the ball over. Stout defense from North Carolina Central, and Naja Lane rips it away, and here comes Morgan Callahan. Looks like she was trying to find a trailing teammate, but turns the ball over.
And right away, both teams playing just a little sloppy here, but Coppin able to retrieve. And they look a little bit out of sync.
Weaving around the top of the perimeter, that's Kyla Morris, and she tosses it back to Shania Gamble. Let's get past to the corner. This is McBride. Her three loops out. Now North Carolina Central trying to be the first team into the scoring column today. Callahan, this jumper's for two, and it's good. A long two for Morgan Callahan.
Yeah, Callahan, that's not something I see her do often, but she has definitely improved her game, and then, now she can show she's a versatile player, not just down in the post.
She has not made many threes in her career, but she is able to stretch the floor, as we just saw. Inside, here's Burris. And she's able to connect from close range.
Oh, that was a good look inside Burris. Big presence down low and able to knock down that easy two.
Bottom of your screen, you see the starting five for North Carolina Central. Morgan Callahan is out there. She is a second-team All-MEAC player. The Eagles of North Carolina Central turn it over. Here comes Kyla Morris for Coppin State. Work in the paint is Gamble. She takes it back out for McBride. On the bottom of your screen, you see the starting five for Coppin State. Baseline drive from Henry. She loses it out of bounds, and it will go to North Carolina Central.
Yeah, just kind of watching Coppin just opening up. They looked, again, a little bit out of sync. Players are not expecting the ball to come to them. We'll see if they settle down here in this quarter.
Lane in the paint. Tries to take it herself, has her shot denied by Burris. North Carolina Central sticks with it and gets it right back. And it goes into the hands of Natalie Jasper. And Jasper drives in and draws the foul on the way up.
And again, a little sloppy play by Coppin, but you see where Central's being a lot more aggressive. Just driving to the hole, and McBride was looking for a jump ball.
You see McBride at the top of your screen putting on a knee brace. Looks like she was trying to go without it over the course of this game. And the first free throw up and good for Natalie Jasper.
Yeah, it's better to be safe.
And on the screen you see North Carolina Central head coach Terrence Baxter, and his third year as the head coach of this program. Came into the leadership role on an interim basis. It was a very quick turnover before the start of the season, but he guided this team forward to one of their best seasons at the Division I level last year. And now here they are trying to make a dent in the conference tournament. Free throw line jumper missed by Burris. Eagles running. Here's Jasper. Bounce pass inside, ricochets away back into the hands of the gold-jerseyed Coppin State. McBride steps into the long-distance tray and leaves it short. She's called for the travel right after she gets a rebound.
Yeah, either team, well, I see what Central's trying to do. They're trying to just drive to the hole and find ways to either get to the free throw line or get those easy layups. But Coppin's still a little bit out of sync. And that's why we have a little low-scoring game so far.
Lane, a former Hornet from Delaware State, drops this off for Coleman. Her three misses the mark. Two teams that definitely like to put the three up. North Carolina Central is the best three-point shooting team in the league, although Coppin State not quite on the same level. They are making about 26% of their attempts from downtown. Nice drive, but the pass won't find the intended target. Jasper trying to run the break herself. Ball comes loose. She keeps it in play, but now here's a fast break for Coppin State. Burris stops at the free throw line. And now Coppin State will set up into a half court.
Well, we kind of saw a little bit of this yesterday when some teams started off playing. It was just not the best basketball. So maybe a little nerves, a little jittery.
None of these teams have played this early for quite a while. Burris able to split two and make the layup.
Well, they continue to find Burris down low, and she's been able to execute. So she's 2 for 2, and another turnover.
North Carolina Central playing very disjointed here at the start of this game. As we mentioned, this is a noon tip-off. A lot of times for MEAC play, these women's games will tip off at 2 o'clock on Saturday. That's the earliest that these teams are playing when they're in conference play. Non-conference, you might get some of those 10 a.m., education day games, but noon, none of these teams have played this early for quite a while.
You're right about that. And here we see a newcomer of the year. Nice little sweet jumper.
Kyla Moore is averaging just under 13 points a game. Lane back inside for Anaya Finger. And now Lane. Finger, a little two-woman game, and they're able to make it work. Finger on the baseline.
Well, that's the best offensive set I've seen Central have since this game started.
McBride directs traffic, and a foul called as the Eagles are reaching in. It's going to go against Tierney Coleman. She gets her first. And that'll send us to our first media timeout of the afternoon. 6 points apiece for both Eagles. This game in the balance early on.
Bigger. Aim higher.
On a Central and Coppin State, we're tied 6-all. And a look inside the bench for North Carolina Central and their head coach, Terrence Baxter. It's his 5th year with North Carolina Central and his 3rd as the head coach. And a team that is part of a club that everybody's trying to leave, just the never made the tournament club. North Carolina Central trying to get through Coppin State, who's been there 4 times. But the Eagles, kind of solid season this year. They come in the 5-9 record in league play.
Yeah, Central's one of those teams, they're just lingering around. Last year I thought that they had a really good opportunity to advance, and but just didn't do enough. So opportunity here today. They can get past these other birds.
The Battle of the Birds, it's always fun when it pops up on the league schedule. Sydney Burris with the up and under move, but she left it short. And a tie up here. The jump ball possession arrow will go to North Carolina Central as Coppin State won the opening tip.
Finger, nice job. Playing just straight up defense and coming down with those boards.
Drive from the right side from Jasper is no good. And this time the rebound ripped cleanly away by Shania Gamble. McBride flying up the floor. Drive left side, Gamble is blocked away by Callahan. Eagles have numbers as Gamble is behind the play. His driving layup is missed, rebounded by Finger. Second chance won't go. And a foul called on the rebound attempt as Amaya Harris is called for the reach-in. That's tough for North Carolina Central. You're going down the court with numbers and you can't get the layup.
Yes, that's 2 back-to-back layups. Just got to do a better job of, being able to execute those type of buckets. And so we see here on the replay, and she knew that she was in trouble, but got called for that foul.
That goes against Amaya Harris for North Carolina Central. They get their 2nd of the quarter. Burris skips it to the corner for Gamble. Baseline, high pass, too tall. As it skips into the luxury area behind us. Brand new here this year.
The luxury area. I actually kind of like it, and get a chance to bring possibly maybe some donors, potential donors, into the suite. Look up close and personal.
The official gives a check of the game ball, and they'll put it back in. That's one thing that's really interesting about basketball. You have 1 game ball. Not like many other sports. Volleyball, you'll have 3. In basketball, you have 1.
Softball and baseball, you have several.
Jasper looking for an opening. Slips as he tries to the left baseline and is called for the travel.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of that yesterday. Not sure if it's a little moisture from the sweat or possibly from the hockey rink that's underneath. And so lost her footing there. And
it's one of those opportunities where I know some teams will have the shoe tack next to the bench. Let's go over there and just step on that a little bit. Try to get whatever dust you got underneath your shoes off.
And, I haven't seen that out very often, so I'm not sure why, but.
Coppin State able to get the ball out of the double team and keep the ball away from North Carolina Central. Nearly had it taken away, but the Coppin State team stays with it. McBride for three. Missed off the left side. Gamble pulls it down, and a second chance for CSU. There's a jumper from Burris. Rebounded by Gamble. One power dribble inside, takes the contact, hits the shot, +1.
Oh, you got to like what you see out there by Coppin State Eagles. A lot of fighting going out there, being aggressive, working to get the offensive boards. And right now they're leading the charge with some offensive boards. So good job. Look at the fight and the hustle and the aggressiveness.
Coppin State nearly lost the ball 3 times on that possession. The pass out of the double team, nearly had it ripped away in the paint. And they get the offensive rebound, and it ends up in a 3-point play. Foul was charged to Morgan Callahan. She got her first. Lane goes inside for Finger. Tough shot on the baseline, won't roll in. It goes out of bounds, will stay with North Carolina Central. North Carolina Central just 2 of 8 from the floor early on. Turned the ball over 6 times, but Coppin State has turned it over 6 as well, but that's the 7th for the team in maroon. Great pass on the fast break. Oh my goodness. A little bit of classic Miami Heat when they had the big 3. Saw the hands go up right after the pass.
Yes, that was a nice feed. Barnes finding, the newcomer of the year, Morris, and she's able to finish and execute. This is a great start right now for Coppin State.
Coppin State on a little bit of a miniature run. This game was tied at 6-all when we went to our break in the first quarter, and now Coppin State up 11-6. The Eagles have missed their last 4 shots, North Carolina Central that is, and are on a 2-minute and 41-second scoring drought.
Yeah, and when we talk about the Coppin State Eagles, this is a coach that just started, late in the season, not a lot of time to do some recruiting, but I listened to an interview that he did. He said he just had to rely on the transfer portal. Mm-hmm. So there are some pluses to the transfer portal, and this being one of them. And so he's able to put together a roster, and right now he's got them playing.
Yeah, Daryl Mosley in his first year at Coppin State. Prior to that was an associate head coach at Arizona State, and then coached 6 years at Lincoln of Pennsylvania, where he initially tried to recruit Paris McBride.
Okay.
McBride went to North Carolina Central, transferred from there, and actually didn't play competitively last season. Spent her last year as an assistant coach at a JUCO program at Southeast Arkansas College, and
I saw that.
is starting to lose the spark to play basketball. But she has found it, and she is directing this Coppin State team forward.
And maybe at the end of this season, might look at adding her to the coaching staff roster. She has some coaching experience, and she's definitely been a spark for this program.
Averaging about 9 points a game and 3.5 assists per game. And with her going up against the team that she started with, you got to think there's a little bit of an edge for her. As Lane has her shot blocked away by Burris. Coppin State pushing the floor again. Kyla Morris can't make the layup. There's a drive in. Anaya Finger steps out for 3. Leaves it short.
I'm not sure if that's a shot that Coach wants her taking. I mean, she was wide open. I would have liked to have seen her take a couple dribbles in, you know, and see if to draw the defense. And if she's still open, take it. If not, kick it out. So that resulted in an air ball.
In her defense, she is shooting over 40% from downtown this year, 14 of 34, but that time just didn't have the targeting correct. One final note on McBride and wanting to get a little bit of revenge against her former team. The first time that they met this year on January 10th, Paris McBride went for 17 against North Carolina Central. That game in Baltimore.
Oh, nice feed.
Nice little pocket pass, and Kyla Morris able to scoop it in. And Coppin State is sprinting away from North Carolina Central right now. Quick three release. That's on target from Asia Hinton, one of the best shooters within the MEAC.
Absolutely. And I was just wondering when she was going to let one go. And I think that they lost sight of her, and she was wide open for that easy knockdown three.
Asia Hinton averaging about 2 threes per game. And Tierney Coleman goes right into the body of the Coppin State player. She draws the foul. That's her second. And Asia Hinton had an extraordinary game earlier this year against William Peace University, which is a smaller school within the city of Raleigh, or Raleigh if you played wide receiver at the NFL level. And she knocked down 12 three-pointers.
12, that's pretty impressive.
36 points in that game. And those 12 threes are the most of any player at the NCAA level between Divisions 1 and 3. And she's ahead of Olivia Miles, who plays at TCU, and another familiar name, as an offensive foul is called against Natalie Jasper. Another very familiar name from Wisconsin, Destiny Howell, former Howard Bison.
Okay. So wait, where's Destiny Howell playing?
She's currently at Wisconsin, also hit 10 threes this year in a game.
Oh, wow. That's pretty impressive.
That's very impressive.
I think DeBriah Clark has them beat, though. We'll talk about that a little later when Norfolk plays.
A foul called against Naja Lane.
So fouls early. We saw that yesterday. A lot of fouls were called.
And that's going to send Coppin State to the line with Paris McBride. Played 2 years at North Carolina Central, transferred to Morehead State, did not play due to injury. You see that knee brace on her right knee. She's had multiple surgeries. I think in the article that she had when she was interviewed, about 4 surgeries on that right knee. And when she was at North Carolina Central, picked up quite a few accolades while she was there. She makes 1 of 2. Her final season at MEAC play. Played in 12 games with 9 starts, or rather 24 games with 7 starts, and averaged 6 a game. But now here she is at Coppin State.
Well, Coach trusted her, and although she set out,
and another offensive foul, and Natalie Jasper cannot believe it. And she's being consoled by her teammates right now, but it seems that Coppin State is just reading North Carolina Central like a book right now.
Yeah, we're seeing it here. Ooh. That could have gone either way. I thought she got there a little late, but
closing out the quarter here, Skylar Barnes, 2 seconds, lets it go in time, but it won't go through. Coppin State getting the better of North Carolina Central right now, currently on an 8-3 run as they close out this quarter. We'll be back with the second in a moment. It's the MEAC, baby. Quarterfinal round of the MEAC Women's Basketball Tournament. Basketball Tournament, a battle of the Eagles, and let's meet the team representing Charm City, the city of Baltimore. Coppin State, a 4-time MEAC tournament champions. They won the last time back in 2008. Picked up a big non-conference win against Sacred Heart back in December 6th. And they have the season sweep over North Carolina Central, and that includes that 5-game win streak in the middle of conference play.
Well, this is a team, that's coming in seeded 4th, but kind of up and down. You're not quite sure what you're going to always get. I actually watched them play University of South Carolina, and they competed really, really hard in those first 2 quarters. But, you know, South Carolina being the team that they are just showed why they are ranked where they are in the country.
Harris McBride with a great assist attempt inside, but the second chance will fall from Patricia Sosa-Lora. Coppin State continuing to move ahead of North Carolina Central here. This game was tied at 6-all early on, but Coppin State has just separated themselves away from North Carolina Central since. To the corner, this is Lane. She'll take the open 3, and it rattles out. Sosa-Lora with the board. McBride around the screen, driving right side, hesitates but can't get the layup. Great ball handling skills to get herself open, but just couldn't get the layup to fall. Callahan from the left elbow.
And I think that's a shot Callahan should have looked at taking, especially knowing she's got the size advantage over McBride.
Jumper is no good, but fouled in the act of shooting was Amaya Harris, and she'll have 2 shots coming up at the expense of Skylar Barnes.
Yeah, again, I like to go back to Callahan, you know, and maybe that's the discussion that her and coach are having right now. She's literally like wide open, and McBride, you know, definitely is staring her in her chest, so she definitely has a height advantage, and that's just a shot that she just needs to take.
And that is a shot that she does take more often than not. But as it is, it does result in 2 free throws for North Carolina Central. Here's Amaya Harris, a 56% shooter from the line, and misses the first.
And this is how you can get yourself back in the ball game, being able to knock down some free throws, and misses on the first and the second.
So tough luck for North Carolina Central from the line. A team that is shooting about 62% as a unit. Here's a 3 left wing. That's all money from Aaron Henry.
Yeah, they're just getting it done every way.
Callahan, jumper inside the arc, too strong. And Coppin State continuing forward on the hunt. As Paris McBride is going through her own teammates trying to get up the floor. Sosa-Lora back out for McBride off the screen. And a whistle away from the ball. A bad screen set by McBride. That's her second.
Yeah, a lot of fouls. I think in this these first 2 quarters here, kind of what we saw yesterday. And whereas the Coppin State Eagles only had a total of 1 foul, but now 2. And we're Central Eagles up to 7 personal fouls as a team.
Drive around the left side. Coleman back to Lane. She'll take the 3. That won't go. Eagles with just the 1 made so far, and this from Hinton. Callahan, power move inside and draws the foul. 2 shots coming up, and that's on Sosa-Lora. It's her first.
Yeah, I think we need to continue to look for her down low, and then just she has some really solid post moves, and allow her to try to, if she can't score on the layup, then possibly be able to knock down some free throws.
North Carolina Central without a field goal made this quarter, and Callahan hits the first free throws. We just saw Amaya Harris go 0 for 2. This is the first point for North Carolina Central in this quarter, so far being outscored 5-1 with this second free throw pending. Both made, but Coppin State just continuing to get the better of North Carolina Central. Neither of these teams are shooting exceptionally well, but Coppin State is finding a way to be more efficient. Offensive foul called on Kyla Morris as we're talking about offensive efficiency, and that one not too well for Coppin State.
Well, you got to, it's open floor, and got to give some credit to the battles of the 24. Who won that battle that time?
And Anaya Finger gets the better. And we talked about, the last time we came down the floor, the charging foul that was called against North Carolina Central. They changed the rule for charging and blocking. You need to be set before the player leaves the floor. And I think I'm in favor of that change.
Yes, I do like that. Makes it a little easier to determine if it's really a charge or not. Of course, you get some players that got some great acting skills. That helps. Oh, nice.
Eagles read the pass. And here's Naja Lane. Finger jumper in transition. Too strong. Callahan looking for it, but can't get to it. Sosa Laura with it. She has it knocked out of her hands, out of bounds. Patricia Sosa Laura, 5 starts this year. She's coming off the bench today. This is her 30th appearance, 5.5 points a game. And she comes from the Dominican Republic, transferred from Xavier University in Louisiana. And she is somebody who has actually represented the Dominican Republic at the international level.
Oh, that's always nice. Some international experience. Oh.
Pass off the mark. Gamble able to get to it. She leaves the shot short. Callahan gets the board and stays in bounds. Naja Lane trying to find her way to the window and does.
And that's what you're going to need. Just continue to keep attacking the rim. And so Central creeping back into this.
North Carolina Central trying to find their footing here. Burris won't take the shot. Now here's Henry. Matched with Coleman. Step back jumper. Good for 2 on the line for Shania Gamble.
Oh, Gamble's having a nice game today.
Gamble now with 5 points and 5 rebounds. Solid contributions. Averages 6 a game and 7 rebounds. North Carolina Central trying to solve this zone from Coppin State. Callahan takes it herself, her layup off of the mark. Looking for the foul, but won't get it. Morris jumper from the paint, and you can see why she is one of the extraordinary players within this conference.
Yeah, very fluent athlete.
North Carolina Central turns it over. Coleman lost it. Coleman fighting for the ball again, gets bowled over, and Coppin State keeps the ball. 3 in the corner, off the mark. I don't know how Keela Morris got the ball out of her hands to Shania Gamble right there, but Coppin State taking advantage.
Yes, they are. I'm sitting here, I'm like a little baffled. Just see a lot of fighting energy out there by the
taking advantage.
Yes, they are. I'm sitting here, I'm like a little baffled. Just see a lot of fighting energy out there by the Coppin State Eagles.
Coppin State running away from North Carolina Central here in this first half.
If you believe women belong in every leadership space in athletics, from the sideline to the boardroom, let me hear you. Thank you. Now, that's the energy we're going to need today.
For a long time, women were taught that success meant surviving spaces that weren't built for us, being the only, being twice as good. But women today are redefining success. Success isn't just endurance, success is impact.
I would tell you, be over-prepared, be yourself,
Let your voice be heard. So even then, put that mic up and sing your song, sister. When people tell me, let's go get it, how are we going to get the job? And help people prepare you for that opportunity. Don't go in by yourself.
And I just add, be confident. Confidence exudes. You know, this is who I need around me.
Say, I lead with heart by creating opportunities for myself and for others.
Earlier, be selfish and focus on my health at the time.
Okay.
Shows that you're very intentional about what you do with your time. So congratulations, kudos to you, and I encourage you to continue to do that no matter what.
So it was one of those moments where you really have to say, am I going to sacrifice the fun or really try to start and build my career?
Benefits from this decision? Is it the same folks who have always benefited? Is there an opportunity for somebody else to get the benefit?
I don't get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Please use your playbook. And with that, let's all right, ladies.
Coppin State with a narrow 4-point lead over North Carolina Central. Coppin State went ahead by 5 at the first quarter break, but after that, North Carolina Central able to outscore Coppin State 16-15 in the second quarter, and they did so by driving right into the heart of the Coppin State defense.
Yes, and you give some credit to Hinton. I think we just saw that she wanted this to be recognized that her team as a whole are not playing very well, and we saw where she had a couple of back-to-back jumpers, was very aggressive on attacking and trying to get some offensive boards. So hopefully, they went out and made some adjustments and recognized, continue to find some points in the paint by Callahan and a finger. And
in this highlight package, we're looking at how Coppin State has really gotten ahead by points in the paint. Kyla Morris has been working well with Shania Gamble, and those two have made it very difficult for North Carolina Central. You look at Morris with a drop-off there for Sydney Burris, and this transition jumper from Asia Hinton. As North Carolina Central and Coppin State, both of these teams have only made 1 3-pointer each. They're 1 of 6, North Carolina Central. Coppin State is 1 of 9, as you see on the stat slide out here. But the difference here, Coppin State, 16 points in the paint to 4 for North Carolina Central.
Well, you just talked about how Central, where they rank in terms of shooting a 3, and Hinton being one of those top players. And so I look for them to possibly maybe come out and set some screens for her, allow her to get her shot off. But then that's what's going to, if we can find some points in the paint, that's what's going to open up a lot more for Hinton and some other players to knock down some threes.
But in the other stat column, you see North Carolina Central ahead in bench points 11-4. 5 of those points coming from Anaya Finger. And one of the main things that really made that second quarter for North Carolina Central was their ability to get to the free throw line. They shot 16 free throws within the second quarter. They were 10 of 16. Coppin State only went to the line and shot 2 free throws. The Eagles as a team are 12 of 18 from the line. Coppin State 4 of 5. And that's how North Carolina Central has been able to get themselves back into this game, only down by 4 as we're ready to start the third.
Yes, and talk about the free throws again in the first quarter. North Carolina Central did not go to the free throw line. They were being called for a lot of fouls, so definitely the free throw line. And so we'll see how these teams, what adjustments they made for the start of this third quarter.
That's MEAC Hall of Famer Ramona Riley-Bozer. I'm Jonathan Duran. We're glad to have you with us here for our second set of quarterfinal games. The winner of this game will face number 1 seeded Howard on Friday afternoon at noon. This is Gamble for 3. Off the window and out. Callahan chains the ball up the floor. And the pass inside from Hinton knocked away.
Yeah, coach just told her, hey, possibly a bounce pass next time.
North Carolina Central just about with their starting 5 on the floor to start this third quarter. It's Coleman in favor of Jasper. And Jasper is currently sitting on the bench with those 3 fouls she picked up early. Lane with 6 seconds trying to circulate the offense. 2 seconds. Lane with the fadeaway jumper. It does not hit the iron.
Yeah, just can't have empty trips, you know. And that time, just not doing a good job of managing the clock that time, and found herself taking a fadeaway jumper that didn't get to the rim. Didn't even touch the rim.
That situational awareness, as you see, Lane, she was trying to reset the offense, but already there was 10 seconds left. Didn't really have that many options. 3 on the way, left wing. That one still won't go. Aaron Henry does have the 1-3 that was made by Coppin State. They're now 1 of 11. Callahan trying to work through 2. It takes the contact and will go to the line.
Yeah, again, I like what Central are doing. Is Callahan doing a nice job running the floor. Lane finds her, and she just kind of put it up. It didn't even look like really a shot. Just throw it up, and she gets herself to the free throw line. But we talked about this. She's really not a solid free throw shooter, and believe right now she's 3 for 4, which isn't bad. But she's has an opportunity right now to close the gap here.
But that's one of those veteran big player moves. If you're in the paint and you see that at least one of your defenders has their hands down, you got to go right through them.
And that's exactly what she did. And able to knock down that first free throw.
And even more than that, the foul was charged to Paris McBride, and she just picked up her 3rd. Both free throws good from Callahan, and now North Carolina Central knocking on the door here. McBride staying in this game with her 3 fouls. She is a very valuable part to this Coppin State engine. And you got to think that Coach Mosley's going to leave her out there for as long as possible. Drive left side from Gamble. Won't go. Burris called for the travel.
Yeah, call for the travel, but wow, look at the effort out there that you're getting from her on every single possession. I mean, she is playing hard. You see that drive, and you just, again, look at her effort and her just being very aggressive. I mean, call for the travel, but Coach can't be too disappointed in the effort that he's getting out of her.
Callahan trying to work through the press, looking for help. But a 10 count. Coppin State able to work the press.
And, you got to fault the guards for that. I mean, Callahan, she's not necessarily your best ball handler out there on the court, so guards have got to come back and get the ball.
And now a quick pass down the floor. Coppin State nearly lost it, but Gamble takes the contact and puts it in right window. First field goal of this second half for Coppin State. And a turnover as the pass too tall for Asia Hinton.
Just a little bit. But, she did kind of get her hands on it. So, you got to catch it. Got to try to find a way to come down with the ball.
You get one more look at the driving layup. As we continue here, Paris McBride on the left wing as it circulates around for Kyla Morris. Morris with 10 points, leading all scorers in this contest right now. As Burris draws the foul that goes against Hinton, caught in a bad place defensively. Tried to reach through and to defend the shot, and it denies 2, and it forces 2 shots.
Well, that time Hinton, she came over with help defense just a little late. I mean, she did kind of get her hands on all ball, but still a little bit of body contact. So she picks up the foul.
So 2 free throws on offer for Sydney Burris, 6-foot senior from Milwaukee. Transferred in from UNC Asheville. First free throw off the mark. Shoots about 70% from the line this year. Last season started 2 games and 24 appearances. In her first season as a Bulldog. Average just shy of 4 points and 4 rebounds a game. Asheville, North Carolina, a very picturesque and scenic place to play basketball. Coppin State able to take the ball away in the backcourt. Because right now they're just too much for North Carolina Central to handle in the backcourt.
Well, Central right now is talking about it because Coppin's been able to come out in a full court press, and you see back-to-back where Central's had a hard time being able to get the ball up the court.
Morris on the step back. And a foul on the rebound attempt goes against North Carolina Central. So this game's starting to tilt back in favor of the team in blue and gold.
Did they assess that foul to Hint?
Yeah, they got Asia Hinton. That's her third, and she's going to go to the bench, and the Eagles will be without one of their best shooters.
Well, that's disappointing for the Eagles, especially when we saw a little spark at the start of this third quarter.
Morris has it knocked away. And Morgan Callahan's going to lead the break herself. Coleman sizes up the defense. And a whistle away from the ball. And it looks like this is going to go against McBride.
And that's going to be her fourth.
Looking for confirmation. And let's see.
Oh. On that replay.
Yeah, they get the foul on Nia Young.
Okay. Yeah.
North Carolina Central is lined
they
up to.
They just reversed apparently they just reversed the call because the players all were set.
Yeah.
You know, as if the call went against the Coppin State Eagles.
Yeah, so the referee did initially put up 5, and I was very confused because the way that everybody stopped on the floor, it seemed that it was going to be North Carolina Central's ball, and I was looking trying to see if there was a gold 5 on the floor. But yeah, it's called against Nia Young. The Eagles turn it over, and Coppin State has it.
Well, coach is still arguing his point, but it's not going to go to. And then this is the right call.
Right.
It should be Coppin State Eagles ball.
And another whistle away from the ball. So everything that was happening to North Carolina Central, they are now committing all of these fouls right back against Coppin State, and they're starting to let the game slip away.
Yes, quick fouls right away. And although the players are, they're trying to fight their case, I think the referees right now is getting it right.
3 in the corner, won't go from Morris. Nia Young drops it off for Coleman. High arcing tray, short. Kyla Morris gets past one and sends this one back out. Henry. And a big collision here as Callahan collides with her former teammate of Paris McBride.
Well, I tell you, it's pretty risky out there with the Eagles in transition, and I can't even get my words together here. But Jasper, playing with those 3 fouls, and she just put her arms up, and her arms across her chest, and said, "I'm not touching anyone," because that would have been 4 fouls against her. So in that situation, you got to be able to score. But either way, right now, the Coppin State Eagles are shooting free throws.
We'll look at the transition play, and you're going to see at the top of the screen Morgan Callahan trying to get through and just runs right through her former teammate as Paris McBride makes both. Have you ever played against a former teammate on the opposite side of you, Coach?
As an athlete?
Yeah.
No, because, we didn't have transfer portals going on back in my day like that. It's like wherever you decided to go, that's where you go and you stick it out. You find a way to make it right for yourself while you're there. So,
yeah, it definitely adds an interesting element to this game because there's a handful of players in North Carolina Central. Even though McBride transferred and was away from North Carolina Central for 3 years, there are still some players on this roster that had her as a teammate. This jumper's for 2, and it won't fall from Young. And now Coppin State pushing the floor. Tough shot, won't roll in through the contact, but Kyla Morris back to the line. And it goes against Natalie Jasper, and that's her 4th.
Well, let's give some credit. The Coppin State Eagles, they seem like they're changing up their game plan, and they are being aggressive and driving to the hole. And in this situation right here, we just saw where Jasper picking up her 4th foul. Smart play by Morris to recognize that she is in foul trouble.
Kyla Morris connects on the first of 2. game-high scorer right now with 10 as she steps to the line. Now goes up to 12 after both free throws made. 12 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. Kyla Morris filling it up right now. Nia Young takes the contact. And this was what was working for North Carolina Central in that second quarter, just driving straight in and taking the contact and trying to draw the fouls.
Well, and we saw where Central were doing that toward the end of the second quarter, and they haven't seen to change up their game plan, especially because no one is really taking any three-point attempts in this third quarter at all. The key right now is to knock down free throws.
First of 2 free throws is good for Nia Young. Free throws win ball games, as they say. Second free throw does fall in. But yeah, both of these teams still just only have 1 3-pointer made. They're a combined 2 for 19 in this game. Kyla Morris lost the handle, but it stays with Coppin State. McBride won't take at the top of the arc. Inside here, Sosa Laura. And she is fouled on the shot attempt. A late recovery from North Carolina Central.
Wow, she was left all along, and Callahan out guarding the guard, and there's no presence down low by Central defensively. And just a wide open, easy bucket for Sosa Laura.
And you just saw the difference in the reactions there. Sosa Laura with the flex and Morgan Callahan with the open mouth shot. The call went against her teammate as Sosa Laura leaves the first one short.
Well, that's her first free throw attempt for today.
She's at about 65%. Talked about how she played for Team Dominican Republic. One of her best games of the tournament that she featured in, where she scored 6 points with 5 rebounds against Team Mexico. And that was during the 2025 Women's AmeriCup. It's always a great honor if you're able to represent your country at an international level.
We got a couple of international athletes on these basketball rosters.
5 seconds here. Anaya Finger working against the clock. Can't make the turnaround. And Paris McBride is going to slow this thing down. Coppin State is back in control of this game. They're back up by 8. Even though they haven't scored a field goal in the last 2.5 minutes, they've been biding their time for the line, but an offensive foul called, a bad screen set. Now we'll send us to the break as Sosa Laura is called for the foul. Coppin State ahead of North Carolina Central, trying to book a trip into the semifinal round. Starting to build up that distance once again.
Yeah, and partly due to the fouls, the quick fouls that has gone Central's way, and which causes some of the key players to have to take a sit down.
Take a look at North Carolina Central, part of the Never Made the Tournament Club in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, but have only been Division I since about 2011. But they are the best three-point shooting team in the league. Tierney Coleman hits it at about 44%. One of the best teams in forcing turnovers, and 2 second-team All-MEAC selections. But right now, the three's just not falling for North Carolina Central, and really not falling for Coppin State either.
Well, let's give some credit to Coppin State Eagles in their scouting report is to make sure that does not happen.
North Carolina Central going through the press. Amaya Harris will slow things down to the point. And here is North Carolina Central's Naja Lane, a transfer from Delaware State. Inside for Coleman, but through her hands.
Yeah, you know, and I wish they would have given it to her a little early, because she actually had McBride defending her, and clearly has a height advantage over her. So, a missed opportunity.
Morris, the bounce pass for Sosa Laura, goes out of her hands, out of bounds. And once again, these teams having trouble holding on to the ball. North Carolina Central has turned it over a total of 17 times. Coppin State a total of 16. Hinton, jumper in transition, too strong. That rebound lost out of bounds. Will stay with North Carolina Central. Finger had it, but had it knocked away.
Well, that's a good offensive board. But Hinton comes right out and launches one, and which is what she's going to need to do, is take some more shots.
Great inbound set play. Opens up Morgan Callahan, and she'll go to the line.
Yeah, I like that set play and finding Callahan down low. And she's been pretty decent from the free throw line. She's 5 for 6. And so opportunity here to chip away into this deficit. So nice little easy play.
First free throw no good from Callahan. Weren't able to quite see it on the replay there, but at the start, nice little down screen set to free her up going to the post.
Misses both.
It's unfortunate. And Callahan can't connect from the line. Morris, jumper in transition, rattles home.
Oh, you got to stop ball a little earlier. Can't allow her to have that free lane to just continue to just drive and stop popping. She's been money.
Especially a player of that caliber. If you're able to walk up, blocking foul called, Callahan goes back to the line. But if nobody pressures you, you're just going to take everything that you can and just knock down the easy jumper.
Yes. Got a Coppin State Eagle player still down. So we're going to see a little shoulder. And, you know, Barnes getting over there just a little bit too late. But she's going to have to check out of the ball game right now.
And she's doubled over. Looks like she might have gotten a hit in the midsection. So hopefully just winded and a little bit of a stinger. She'll take a seat and be able to continue. The tough thing about playing this game is that it can get very, very physical. Callahan has now missed 4 consecutive free throws. The free throw line was working for the Eagles in that second quarter. They went 10. So Aaron Henry is going to head to the line here. 5'8" junior from the Chicagoland area out of Joliet. And transferred from Wabash Valley. One of 2 free throws good. Started her career at University of Illinois Chicago and then went to Wabash Valley College. And averaged about 11 a game there last season. And Aaron Henry this year continuing to knock down threes for Coppin State.
Oh, well, you know, that transfer portal. Coming in being a factor for Coppin State Eagles.
He's able to bring a winning attitude to this team as well. Her team last year went 31-3 and went to the JUCO National Quarterfinals after an 18-game winning streak. And when you're able to experience winning like that, it can help to inspire your teammates as well, as North Carolina Central has called for another quick foul reaching in.
Yeah, tried to jump the passing lane and did not work for North Carolina Central, so another foul gets called. And that's going to allow Henry to have another opportunity to get to this free throw line. She's 1 for 2.
First of 2 free throws good. The last time that these two teams met, Aaron Henry with 6 points and 5 rebounds, knocked down a couple of trays.
And so where we saw the Eagles in a full court press, they decided to just drop back into their zone. And so
drive on the right side as Coppin State is able to collapse on defense and recover. And now Lane puts out the new set. Young, step back jumper for 3, short. So Laura gets the board, and Coppin State has seemingly solved North Carolina Central. This lead is out to 13. They're on a 6-0 run, the team in gold. So Laura continuing to pour it on for Coppin State.
Nice little post, strong, aggressive move.
North Carolina Central just can't find any answers right now. Another turnover. This one in the hands of Gamble. Takes it herself and draws the foul.
And you know, if you're gonna foul, you gotta make sure that they do not make the layup.
Right.
And so it appears as though that the Coppin State Eagles just losing their composure out there. I mean, it's still so much time left, you know, in this game. We're only in the third, and it seems as though, you know, their heads are dropped and they're just really unsure. You don't see the energy, no energy from the bench as well. So now Hen's back in the game. I'm curious to see if Coppin State Eagles will stay in this zone with Hinton back into the game, because right now she might be the answer for them if she's able to knock down some threes.
North Carolina Central needs to find something, anything. They're trying to get themselves going. You mentioned the energy. You can definitely feel it's not quite there for North Carolina Central right now. Young pivots. Free throw line jumper is good. That ends a near 4-minute scoring drought.
Wow. Gonna need a lot more of that.
For North Carolina Central, you mentioned with Hinton being back in this game, what else can they do to try to close this deficit once again?
Well, we saw defensively, Coppin State went into a man-to-man defense. So if they're going to stay in that man, you're going to set some screens for Hinton to allow her to get open and try to knock down some threes.
And there's strong defense from Naja Lane, forces a turnover from McBride. Now Callahan thought about the drive. And now takes a second chance. Layup on the run, hits it, +1.
And that just looked like a little throw up. Let me get lucky here, hit the square, ball drops in. So there you go, Callahan. Now you got to be able to knock down some free throws.
One more look here, and that's something that fans of North Carolina Central have seen all throughout Callahan's career. Somebody who's left-handed and has such long arms as her, she's a little difficult to defend. You don't see players like her too often.
Yeah, it just kind of reminds me a little bit of like Niall Miller, and it's someone who's slipping my mind right now. Just long, lean. We saw that in it's going to come to me, Jonathan. Give me a minute.
We got you, Coach. 12-point lead for Coppin State as we're in the final minute of this third quarter. The winner of this game faces Howard in the semifinal round tomorrow. 3 on the way, right wing. Loops out. Gamble, second chance, good on the left wing. A quick drive and a layup missed, but 2 shots on the way for Amaya Harris. This on Mikkel Lowry. She gets her second. So again, North Carolina Central, we saw them do this quite a lot in that second quarter, but aren't really driving as much here in the third.
So you said from Central?
Yes.
Well, we just saw first Callahan, and then now another opportunity with Harris driving to the hole and getting herself to the free throw line. But the key is just being able to now knock down some free throws.
North Carolina Central has shot 10 more free throws than Coppin State as they turn the ball over on an errant pass.
Miscommunication by Coppin State Eagles. So a chance for North Carolina Central to be able to put up some points in these last 29 seconds in this third quarter.
North Carolina Central, they've shot 10 more free throws than Coppin State, but they've only made 3 more. As Callahan draws another foul here. That's on Gamble, her second.
And again, Callahan, 5 for 11 from the free throw line. Something they'll be thinking about when this game is over if it doesn't go their way. How many easy points that they left out there on the table. So if Callahan can knock down these two, and possibly get a defensive stop, still have another opportunity to score in this third quarter. He's able to knock down the first.
Callahan, a very quick shooter from the line, able to make both. So now the timer off. Coppin State trying to put a positive possession together here to close out the third. Paris McBride matched up with Tierney Coleman. Gamble nearly has it ripped away. Coppin State trying to not let everything fall apart here with 5 seconds. And McBride draws the foul.
Yeah, 4 seconds left on the clock.
Goes on Victoria Morris, who's been in the starting lineup quite a lot for North Carolina Central this year, but this is just her first appearance in this game. She draws the foul, her first, and Paris McBride will have 2 free throws on the way.
She is 3 for 4 from the free throw line.
But how about this? Has not made a field goal in this game. 0 for 5 and 0 for 4 from the perimeter.
Well, you're getting production from other players. That's what's most important. Hen comes back into the game for North Carolina.
This is the first.
So they're looking for something quick and easy. Possibly Hen being able to jack up a 3. That'll get you going into the third quarter.
McBride makes 1 of 2. Coppin State will make a substitution as Kyla Morris comes back in. And now North Carolina Central with a chance to run the floor and get 1 shot up.
Well, now Coppin State is going to go into a 2-2-1 full court press.
They don't get across midcourt. With a 3 on the run, it won't count. But Coppin State has just put the clamps on North Carolina Central and forced them into quite a few turnovers, 7 already in this third quarter. Coppin State 10 minutes away from getting into the semifinal round if they can hold off North Carolina Central. Coppin State with a 12-point advantage over North Carolina Central in this battle of the Eagles in the quarterfinal round. And they look at Coppin State, and this is a team that is 10 minutes away from trying to get into the semifinal round where they will face #1 seeded Howard on Friday afternoon.
Well, yeah, Coach Mosley has come in and, has definitely made his presence be known. New to the MEAC, and but he's got his athletes out here playing. And we talked about some balanced scoring. You're getting some contributions from Campbell with 10 points and 9 rebounds. So she's on her way to a double-double, who is our Wells Fargo player of the game.
Shania Gamble has really been putting together a complete game for Coppin State. And now, with 10 minutes to go, trying to get their hands on their first tournament championship since 2008, but they have to go through the #1 seed tomorrow to do it. 3 on the way, quick release from Asia Hinton, but she leaves it short. A chance to run now for Coppin State. Henry right into the paint and takes the charge. That's her third.
If you're going to shoot an air ball, then, at least get back on defense and give up your body. But she's got to keep shooting. Nice job defensively, like I said, getting her feet set, taking a charge for her team. But Hen's got to keep shooting if she wants her team to get back into this game.
Naja Lane from the free throw line. That jumper will roll in.
No one really guarding Lane. She's literally like wide open. And defense just sagging on her, so nice job by Lane being able to knock that down for 2.
Gamble slicing through and lays it in.
Was anybody guarding Gamble?
And she made it look like there was nobody in front of her. Callahan trying to go up and under on the right side, draws the contact.
And almost, that ball almost went in.
That's going to go against Gamble. And how about this for Shania Gamble? With as great of a season as she has had this year, averaging 6 points and 7 rebounds, she hasn't recorded a double-double yet this season. Well, knocking on the door here and just to get one more rebound, but she has collected 15 rebounds, and that was the last game out against Morgan State to finish the season.
Oh, against Morgan State? Oh, okay. I mean, hey, why not? You know, Morgan Coppin, that's always, you know, a nice little friendly battle. Sometimes it's not so friendly, but it is fun when these two teams come together and, you know, when they compete. So we'll give Gamble some credit there. Coming up with 15 boards.
Rivalries is one of the things that makes college basketball special.
Absolutely.
Gamble called for the travel. Now, Coach, I've been up to the physical education complex at Coppin State. I've been to Hill Fieldhouse multiple times and know what it's like to be in that building as a visitor, but I can only imagine what it's like when the rival team is in that building.
Yes, you know, it seems like the whole atmosphere is a little different. There's a little more people who come out and watch the games because they know it is a rival. And these two schools, they're only about, 20 minutes apart from each other. So you get Coppin community coming over to Baltimore, and then Baltimore community coming over to Coppin. So it creates a really great environment. In the last game of the season, these two played. It's a nice crowd at Morgan State.
Naja Lane with under 10. This jumper's for 2 inside the arc. And there is the double-double for Shania Gamble. Rebound number 10.
And she knows it, too. She just gave a thumbs up to her coaches. I'm going to assume that she knows that she just got a double-double.
A timeout called on the floor. We'll take a break as well. Coppin State trying to put the finishing touches on a win here to get into the semifinal round. Organizing to inbound. We got a moment here to look at what's happened here with Shania Gamble, who's been having an exquisite game today for Coppin State. She's our Wells Fargo player of the game, and she has collected her first double-double this season.
And, you know, Gamble, she's just a sophomore, transfer from LIU, and she is definitely making her presence be known here. And on her way to potentially next year getting some accolades, you know, with all MEAC, first or second team. Now just hope Coach can keep her at Coppin State.
And you got to think that Gamble's going to find her way as being one of the all-tournament team members. A quick foul called against North Carolina Central on the inbound. It goes against Tierney Coleman. That's her 4th.
And that's been the Achilles heel with Coppin State Eagles is the fouls that are being called against them. And right now, they just really have not been playing a very solid game. You know, you really want to depend on players like Hinton, Callahan, and Finger, and we're just not really getting a whole lot of production out of them. I mean, Callahan's starting to pick up with 11 points, but got to have some other players like Hinton stepping up and Finger.
So Coppin State inbounds the ball, and they'll continue. Trying to avoid the backcourt violation. A nice leaping grab there by McBride to keep it on the correct side of the court. Henry, jumper no good from the right elbow. Gamble pulls down the board but can't hold on as she comes back down to earth. Jumper in transition from Lane, won't go, and now McBride has a chance to run. But a tie up behind the play as Sosa Laura is down, and it looks like Anaya Finger as well for North Carolina Central. The referees quickly whistled that one.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to see that because the ball was heading down the opposite side, and Finger's still down. So we get a chance to take.
Oh,
you know, I really would like to see the referees go and take a look at that on the replay.
Yeah, that one might deserve a second look. And Anaya Finger is still down in discomfort. I think mainly just from the way that she went down. It seemed to be that her arm got pulled over the shoulder of Sosa Laura.
Yes. So good for her. She's able to get up. And
we get one more look here. It's tangled up in a tough fall there for Anaya Finger.
And they're actually showing the replay here in the arena, so you're getting some. So that's going to force the officials to come take a look at that because that was pretty serious. And maybe they just kind of got tied up, and she's trying to get her off the back. So it's hard to say if that was intentional or not.
So right now the officials are going to review this.
44, we are going to see a possible upgrade to
So
F1.
We get the confirmation from the officials. We have a common foul currently called against Patricia Sosa Laura, and they're going to take a moment to see if this needs to be upgraded from a common foul to a flagrant.
Yeah, I think to kind of see it like right from the beginning to see if they just kind of got tangled up. Well, you can see they started off tangled up, and I think she was just trying to really get her off of her. So I'm thinking the call is going to stand, you know, with the official call that they made.
Yeah, you see it happening at the bottom of your screen. It moves up to the middle, and then on the left side, yeah, it's. You see Anaya Finger, her feet come all the way off the floor.
Yes. It's like a karate move. Oh, you can see the pain in her face as well. So, but they started off where they were already tangled before Sosa Laura kind of, you know, flipped her. I think basically probably trying to just get her off of her.
But yeah, so you'll see here the shot goes up and their arms interlock when they're trying to box each other out. And then Sosa Laura, when she goes to disengage, she ducks down, possibly trying to untangle those arms together, and takes Anaya Finger for a ride.
And so the officials look like they've made a call. They are conversing. But, you know, despite whatever this call is going to be right now, North Carolina Central Eagles got 7 minutes and 44 seconds to figure some things out.
Go 44, unnecessary, has been deemed unnecessary, and it has been ruled a F1, a flagrant one. North Carolina Central will get 2 shots and the ball on the side.
So it has been upgraded to a flagrant foul against Patricia Sosa Laura for unnecessary play. As North Carolina Central is going to shoot a couple of free throws when we come back from the break. Thing on the floor. This assist earlier in the game, she dropped off for Sydney Burris. That's our U.S. Army impact moment of the game.
Yeah, she has definitely been solid from the start. When after that jump ball, just her aggressive play, and then able to chip in with some points here and there. So she's definitely been that impact player for Coppin State Eagles.
So we get back to game action. We have North Carolina Central at the free throw line, shooting 2 after a flagrant foul was called against Patricia Sosa Laura. First free throw was short. She got tangled up with Anaya Finger and ended up almost pulling Anaya Finger over her shoulder with their arms interlocked. The referees came over to review. They upgraded it to a flagrant 1. Both free throws are missed by North Carolina Central, but they'll have control of the basketball.
Well, they're going to have control of the basketball, but when you look at the stats, Jonathan, you know, 19 for 33, you know, free throws, and so definitely had their opportunities.
And after those 2 free throws, it's been updated to 19 of 35. 3 on the way is no good. Rebound pulled down by Coppin State. North Carolina Central has shot 14 more free throws than Coppin State. They've only made 4 more.
That's not how you win a ball game.
Burris has a shot blocked back down. I think that is going to be credited for Nia Young. Nice stutter step dribble from Lane. Can't get a kind roll.
Oh, nice hands by Finger.
Forced the turnover in the backcourt. Now Finger up for three, and that's cash. That's her 15th three-pointer of the year. Shoots it over 40%.
Well, that's how you can get back in the ball game. Got to be able to knock down some threes at this point.
North Carolina Central hanging around. The deficit is only 9, but the way they've been playing, it does feel like it's a little more. Shot blocked away inside. Burris stays with it and gets the second chance.
Well, Burris, who talked about that impact, and right there to clean it up and for the easy layup.
Top of the floor, Jasper. Looking for help. Goes off the screen to the left. 10 to fire for North Carolina Central. Lane for three. Fought for and brought down by Callahan.
Nice job.
Senior and say, hey, we're going to challenge this, then you get it right.
And they got it right, but what are you going to do with it? You know, you only got a little less than 5 minutes left into this game, and, you know, you're still down by 12.
Again, here within this tournament, we have seen wild things happen. Eagles bring the ball up the floor through the press. Weaving around, Jasper. Drops it back off for Callahan. Coleman on the baseline. Has a shot blocked down, but draws the foul. I think that's on Morris.
Well, we saw, you know, just struggling a little bit, trying to get in some type of offensive set, but, ooh. Looks like she may have overextended her knee just a little bit.
Yeah, she was down for a bit after that before being helped up by her teammates, but seems to be well enough and strong enough to continue. The foul was charged to Kyla Morris. She got her third. And both teams now with 4 fouls committed here in this fourth quarter. The next foul is going to send their opponent into the bonus for the remainder of the contest. Both free throws good from Coleman, as Lane will tag in for Coleman. Victoria Morris back in as well for North Carolina Central. As Callahan goes out. Again, Morris, somebody who started 14 games for the Eagles of North Carolina Central this year, has had very limited minutes in this game. Kyla Morris stops on a dime. As Coppin State speeds through to break the pressure. Morris around the weave. Finds an alleyway and lays it in. What a great play for Coppin State.
Yeah, clearly that was designed for Morris to get that easy little layup with a wide open lane.
Left wing, here's Harris. The drive from Morris, and she lost it. 2-on-1 opposite way. And it's wide open for Aaron Henry. And now, this crowd explodes as North Carolina Central calls a timeout. Coppin State starting to feel it and feeling like they might be playing tomorrow at noon.
And one of the reasons is just because of the effort that you continue to see on every dead ball. They're all in it, and they've just put a lot more pressure on North Carolina Central Eagles, and it shows right here.
So the Eagles call the timeout. They have just one remaining. They've found a way to bring this lead down to single digits, but haven't been able to close the gap. And Coppin State said, all right, you're not getting any closer, and we're going to pull away. And the lead is back out to 14 for Coppin State.
And truly a team effort by Coppin State Eagles, not one particular person who has been like the star, because there's other players that are doing some phenomenal things, whether it's rebounding, whether it's throwing their body out there, just being aggressive, getting offensive boards. And so nice effort so far by Coppin State Eagles.
You see Coppin State, you talked about the rebounding. They have absolutely dominated there. They are ahead 40-24 ahead of North Carolina Central.
It's impressive.
3.5 minutes left in regulation. Coleman open for three. Off target. Ball pass up the floor for Henry. 3-on-1 fast break. Gamble is contested and can't finish. Callahan goes through the contact and an offensive foul called against her. That's her third.
Yeah, McBride, probably the smallest player out there on the court, standing maybe about 5'2", maybe 5'3", with shoes on, and does a nice job just getting her feet set and giving up her body, her little broken body. And so you could just see a little frustration on North Carolina Central.
And McBride possibly with a little insider knowledge against a former teammate, knowing I know where you're going to go and I'm going to plant my feet. Coppin State nearly lost it at the midway point. McBride ducking through and is fouled all the way to the paint. And Coleman, I believe, is now excused from this ball game, if that's her fifth.
Yeah, she tried to poke it from behind and instead touch body. And so, yep, she is going to be leaving the game.
You see, trying to grab the steal, it just got too much contact as Coleman will leave. 5 points and 2 rebounds for her this evening, or rather this afternoon. Paris McBride at the free throw line. It's still difficult to believe for McBride. She hasn't made a field goal in this game.
But she's been impactful, though, doing a nice job of controlling the offense. And so sometimes if you don't score, you got to find some other ways to do some things good, and that's exactly what we're getting. And she has been able to knock down her free throws.
And she is 6 of 8 from the line as Coppin State calls a full timeout. Take a moment here to look ahead at what's happening with our next game. It's going to be the number 3 seed Norfolk State against number 6 seed Morgan State, and what's going to be a very good contest as we will finish out the quarterfinal round.
Well, you know, Norfolk State, when's the last time they've come into this tournament being the number 3 seeded team? So this is a different little look for them. So like you said, anything can happen. Morgan State coming in one of the lower seeded teams, but it's MEAC time. So sit back and be ready.
Always fun to come in here and to be surprised on what will happen. The last time that Norfolk State faced Morgan State, they won that game 69-60 in Baltimore. And in fact, the Spartans got the season sweep over the Bears.
Yeah, I was there when Norfolk visited Morgan State. And, just taking a look at here, the bracket. So right now they have Coppin State advancing already, with 3 minutes left on the clock. So, so yes, the next game coming up will then have to face the number 2 seed, the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. So now, if Morgan State makes it into the next round, then you got the two, best friends are going up against each other in MEAC championship tournament play. So that should be quite interesting and a nice story to talk about.
Yeah, 2 coaches that played together at the University of Iowa, between Coach Willis and Coach DeMond. And Coach DeMond, who we'll see in this next game, went on to have a career playing in the W.
Yes.
North Carolina Central trying to climb out of the deficit. Lane driving baseline. Callahan can't find a shot. Comes back in, up and under, and rolls it in. A tough play by Callahan.
Scoop. Way to stay with that, Callahan. But they got to go, you know, right now. Maybe not settle for just driving to the hole. They're going to have to hit some threes to get back into this game.
Coppin State coming off of what was their largest lead of the game of 16. North Carolina Central, if they're able to do this, it would be a highly improbable comeback. But again, nothing impossible when it comes to March.
And look like Coppin State Eagles, they're deciding to work a little clock.
Runner at the lights, good for Skylar Barnes.
Hey, you know, work some clock and then still come up with a bucket. Oh, she's got to take that shot.
And she will inside the arc and make it for 2.
Yeah, you got to do it a little sooner. You're wide open. They're a collapse on defense, so got to put that up.
Paris McBride able to keep her balance after nearly falling.
And again, Coppin State Eagle, again, working clock.
There's Burris trying to find a way to the window. Shot up and good through the contact.
You got to foul in that situation. Allow her to have that little easy lane for that that layup.
Quick shot won't go for North Carolina Central, and Callahan called for the foul, reaching in, trying to keep her team alive. She gets her 4th.
And again, you know, with Finger down low, there's only, at that time, it was less than 2 minutes left in the ball game. You got to foul. You know, you can't take the fouls with you. This is your last opportunity, and you just, you know, just can't let anyone just have that open lane and just give them an easy little layup.
When we look at the contact here that's sending Coppin State to the line, Callahan saw that Henry was holding the ball a little relaxed and trying to get after it, but a little too late.
Yeah, Henry doing a nice job moving it over to her right hand and forcing Callahan to try to reach. And referees was right there on it, making that call. And then she's been great from the free throw line.
Henry makes the first. Over half of her points coming from the line. And now Coppin State has now eclipsed North Carolina Central's production from the free throw line. They are now 22 of 29, close to about 75% from the line. The Eagles are 21 of 37.
And I think at this point, you know, this is definitely going to go Coppin State Eagles' way.
Callahan off the spin. Right-handed shot won't go. There's a handful of possessions left in this game, and Coppin State going to try to put this one on ice. 3 on the way. That's a dagger from the corner. Skylar Barnes seemingly putting away North Carolina Central.
I was thinking they were going to work a little clock.
You've got the opportunity to put the game on ice, put the game in the freezer, you take it. The jump ball is called here, and it'll go to North Carolina Central.
Well, Callahan hasn't stopped playing. She's still playing hard and being aggressive out there.
We'll get one more look at this huge tray in the corner from Barnes.
She knew it when it left. When it left her hand, she knew that was going in.
This is Finger for 3, right corner. That's good. But just a little bit too late for North Carolina Central. 35 seconds to go. And Coppin State is moving on to the semifinal round to face number 1 seeded Howard.
Where they will have their hands full. But if they can play the way they played this game here, and it was more about the aggressiveness that I saw it, and they played like they really wanted it. And so they can come out and do that, never know.
Coppin State not able to get a win against the Bison in the regular season. And they'll try to break that trend tomorrow at noon, our first semifinal game. And after this game is done at approximately 2 o'clock, we'll have Norfolk State and Morgan State as we set the semifinal round in full. Finger another 3. And that's it. North Carolina Central comes up short. Coppin State on to the semifinal round, 70-52.
Well, you know, just give some credit to Coppin State Eagles. Truly a team effort. Coach did an amazing job putting together a scouting report where the players seemed that they bought in because they were playing hard from the beginning until the very end. It's something where they tend to get a little frazzled, but that's not what we saw out of them today. But North Carolina Central just did not have an answer because some of the key players didn't come to play today. And so the end result is that Coppin State Eagles, they fly to the next day.
So the first half of our semifinal is set. Number 1 Howard will take on number 4 seed Coppin State. We'll see if it'll be all chalk when our next game happens. Number 3 Norfolk State against number 6 Morgan State. Got an upset already in the men's bracket. Let's see if we'll have one today in our next game. That's Coach Ramona Riley-Bozer. I'm Jonathan Duran saying so long here from Scope Arena. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back with our second game of our quarterfinal doubleheader. MEAC basketball here on ESPN+. Stick with us.